Georgia family losing their generational home to make way for an AI data center. I got to be honest with you. Let's talk about this because the data centers are coming, and a lot of these families, I just don't have the patience for these families. They keep going, oh, the water in my house is brown. My home is being taken. They're putting a data center, and you're like, I just don't like people who don't like progress. I don't. And there's nothing more apparent than the benefits to me of a large data center that consumes most of the energy in the area and uses it to power artificial intelligence to do all of the jobs that people used to do. That, to me, is a very clear-cut use of resources to better people's lives. And it bothers me that there are people out there that are very sick that, for whatever reason, are afraid of progress, and they are not on board with this, and they are shaking their fist at the sky, very get off my lawn energy. And they say, we want water, and we want energy, and we want jobs. And I'm here to tell you that that is the old way of life. Water, energy, and jobs are the old way of life. You don't get that. We can't give you the water and the energy. How are we going to run the data center? The data center is the new thing. It's going to power the future of America are these data centers. Now, here's what's going to happen. We're going to have a lot of homegrown terrorists. Now, the FBI already probably watches the show. Now, they're really going to watch it. And let me say this right now. I am not for this. Let me say it clear. I'm not for this at all, but I can imagine a world where we have homegrown terrorists that start to attack these data centers. It's kind of already starting to happen, but I can certainly imagine a world where we see more and more of this as people resist their own extermination, which I'm not for. I'm not for people resisting their own extermination. Let me be very clear to the federal government. I believe people should silently become extinct and not bother anybody. I am not for people trying to fight their own extermination. They should walk into extinction quietly and gracefully and with dignity. So I'm saying this for the federal government right now. I'm telling this right now for JD and Teal and the whole gang, the whole kit and caboodle. Would never want to see a beautiful data center maimed by any of these sick people. I believe people need to accept their fate, accept the reality of where we are, that they are simply not needed. Their right to life, blah, whatever that even is, their right to exist, their right to autonomy, their right to freedom, their right to water or whatever. What even is that? Is water in the Constitution? I think not. And thou shalt, or whatever, the 10, commandments. Thou shalt have water. No. The Bill of Rights, you have the right to water? I think not. So here's the deal. I could imagine a world in which people start attacking these data centers because they resist their own extinction. Now, I don't want that world. I don't want that world. I want a world like all the tech people. I believe that the best way forward is to exterminate the human race. I believe that's the only thing we can do. And I understand there's questions about that. I get it. I understand that there's questions about the pace of that, the timing of it. Totally. And those are fair questions. It's fair to ask those questions. When am I out of here? Very fair. I support everyone as long as those questions don't become like some weird justification to resist the inevitability that you are leaving the planet. That's all. You have to accept that. So I And that's what the tech people have said. And they've been, and let's be honest, they've been pretty open about that. And I think we owe them the respect because they're pretty open. They go, listen, we don't know how and when, but the reality is you're not needed anymore. We don't need you. We don't like you. We don't like your customs and traditions and little religions, your families, your children. We don't need any of it. We're building the data center. We're building the data center. There used to be like a town. Now we have a data center. And there's all going to be these old school mining towns where they hire all these people to work for 6 months and they're going to build the data centers. And then immediately those people will be discarded and thrown away. But here's the deal, everybody. The data center it's the new town. Pull up small town at Christmas and hit image. Small town Christmas, hit image. Hopefully they show us like a town square. This could be any holiday, by the way. Let's try to find a real one. I love that Google can't show us any of the real ones anymore. It's all just fake. Is there any type of, blow that up. Make that big. There you go. Here you go. This was the old world. Now Google data center and hit image. Show us the big data center. Show us that. Make that big. That's the new world. You got to get on board. You saw the old world. Now this is the new world. That's the old world. Carriages, people in the street, buildings lit up, people making mirth and merriment, drinking, eating. Now show us the new world. Data. Data. Information. Data. AI. So now we're going to watch this news story, but there's some very sick people in our country that want to resist the data centers, and they want clean water, and they don't want to be put in some type of encampment. And this is wrong. It's wrong. This is wrong. I do believe that there's no reason that people should view their humanity as a permanent fixture of their time here. That's crazy. Yes, you're a human for now. You are here today and tomorrow. Whether you get to exist in the future, what business is that of yours? Relax. We're still figuring it out. Let's take CBS Mornings here. Now, these people know they're on. This is Barry's network, Barry Weiss. These are the highest journalistic standards and integrity because Barry Weiss is over here running the show. Barry Weiss, friend of the show, media maven, Miss Weiss. Let's watch this.
Welcome back. Some homeowners in Georgia are being given an ultimatum to sell their homes, or the state will get this, take it to make way for AI data centers.
Yes,
CBS News
of course.
Henry
So what's the problem?
I'm a single mom. I worked hard for everything.
How do you put a price on a home you never intended to sell? One filled with more than 2 decades of memories.
I think I was 5 or 6 when this was built.
The yard where you buried your pets.
Hold on, right now. I don't want anyone listening to this show anymore if you can't see why this woman and her children should be kicked out of their home to build a data center. I don't want you to listen to the show. Truly, I don't want you to listen to the program. If you can't see the need to kick this family out of that home so that they can build a data center for Kevin O'Leary, I don't want you to listen to the show. If billionaires cannot kick families out of their generational homes to build data centers, I don't want to live in this country. Sorry. And I don't want you listening to the show. If there's even a small part of you, if there's even a tiny smidgen of you that says to yourself, hey, that does seem a little fucked up. Fuck you, man. I want my billionaires to be happy. And they like data centers. Here's the thing about billionaires. They love data centers. They like having sex with children, and they like data centers. I don't know what they like more. It's like, children, gotta fuck them, but also data centers, I love it. It's hard. What do they like more? Children on an island who they kill or data centers? Hard to know. But we want them to be happy because otherwise, blah, blah, China, blah, blah, China, China, we'll lose to China, blah, blah, China, China, blah, blah, China, China, blah, China. So that's just the truth. If you have any objection to this mother and her children being thrown on the street for a data center, I say to you, China, China, blah, blah, China, China, blah, China, losing China, China, blah, China. What's your response to that, dummy? Let's watch the rest of this, please.
House that fed your family.
When you talk about what being on this property means to you,
Yeah.
right? It's y'all's.
It's ours. It's our family. We belong here.
No, you
But
don't.
Ansley Brown's childhood
data
home likely
center
won't
now.
be here much longer. That's because the state's largest utility, Georgia Power, says it needs the area to make way for a 35-mile-long transmission line.
Yes.
Georgia Power has been here for as long as Ansley's mother has owned this property. It's just beyond the tree line. Now, with the expansion of this latest project, they're looking to take the 2.5 acres the house sits on.
Georgia Power says increasing demand has outpaced the capacity of its existing grid, and building a new transmission line requires acquiring more than 300 parcels of land, including residential properties.
What did your mom tell you she wanted for this property to be?
Generational wealth, true generational wealth was the idea.
Well, hold on, honey. Slow down. Slow it down. Generational wealth. Hold on. Maybe they're the greedy ones. Are they the greedy ones? Are they the greedy ones? Are these people the greedy ones? And are the billionaires good? In a world where moral questions are complicated, billionaires are greedy, but so are the people in Georgia. In a world where decisions are made based on information. All right, so let's keep listening to her. Maybe she makes a good argument here because her argument is this so far. I don't want to be thrown in the street for a data center. Keep going.
Georgia Power estimates 70 to 80% of the power on this new line is expected to help serve data centers. It says the remaining 20 to 30% of power will serve the state's growing residential and commercial demand.
Georgia Power told us that they feel as if they've done this process responsibly.
Yes.
What would you say to that?
I disagree. You can't tear down 35 miles of rural Georgia and it not hurt something or somebody. And to say that you're doing it in the name of data centers is a slap in the face to us, our community, our animals.
Brown's mother...
Hold on for a minute. Can you stop? I don't love her attitude. I don't love her attitude. I just don't love her attitude. I'm trying to understand her point of view. It's very difficult. Should we not have the data center? Well, what about China? What if China wins this AI race? I don't get it. Like, I'm trying to wrap my head around what her point is. I'm supposed to care that she has a greenhouse? We're fighting China. So I guess the point is that I know it's sad that you have to leave, but like, people want data centers. People really like AI, you know, especially if they have money. People without money don't like AI, but these people with money think it's going to be great. You ever listen to a criminal talk about AI? It's their favorite thing. Criminals love AI. They love it. They love it. Why don't we send this family to Miami so they can sit down with a couple of Adderall snorting criminals and they talk about AI? I'm sure they'll feel better. Don't they understand that they should be using AI to build their personal brand? Here's what I would ask AI if I was them. Hey, ChatGPT, can you turn my personal brand into from homeless bum into thriving entrepreneur? How do I do that? Let's keep watching this. This is obviously very sad, but I got to be honest, you know, the more I think about it, I am starting to see what the billionaires are saying, because here's the billionaires' point. Okay? Let's give them a fair hearing. The billionaire's point is this family could live somewhere else. That's what they're saying. They're saying, hey, you live here today, but maybe not tomorrow. So let's finish this.
Agreement with Georgia Power to sell. Brown says if she didn't, the utility could have sought to acquire her property.
Here's how you do this. By the way, here's how you do this if you're going to do this. You got to give them like so much more than the value of the house. You got to go in and go, what's your house worth? 300,000, 350. Here's $2 million. Now your kids go to school and everything. Now I'm not for this. I think this is all a big problem, and it's the extermination of the human race. Which, if the government's listening, I hope they accept in a classy way. Be a classy gal or guy about it. But you got to give people a shitload of money. But let's keep finishing this, because this is interesting. This is our biggest. This is our biggest historic thing.
Could have sought to acquire her property through eminent domain, a legal process that allows private property to be taken with compensation for projects determined to serve a public purpose.
All power generation starts somewhere.
Holly Lovett is
That's
a
right.
Georgia Power spokesperson.
Good.
Eminent domain is always, a last resort.
Word
for us,
up, hey,
and
baby.
it's something we never want to do.
To us, it's theft. It's literally
Shut
a
up.
billion-dollar
Get her outta here.
company stealing land
We've heard
from
her point.
smaller people who can't fight back.
You
We don't
can't.
have the money to fight Georgia Power.
So that's why a few months
that their
ago,
fault?
Ansley took her story to TikTok.
My childhood home is being taken by Georgia Power.
Oh, God,
She
TikTok
began
again.
sharing stories of others in similar situations.
What is it taking from her? Look behind me.
By the way, here's the point. Here's what that should happen. If they want to make a point, okay? And I'm not, and I don't, you know me, I don't say anything lightly on the show. I consider everything I say, I consider. If they want to make a point about this, they have to blow themselves up or something. Like they have to strap bombs to themselves and blow themselves up. Go like, hey, you want our home? Well, guess what? We're going to do y'all a favor and we're going to fucking level it for you. Hey, Georgia Power. And see, then it might get some attention, but it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work because the AI people would go, oh, cool. And then, but here's the thing. If you want to have a moral victory, you do have to be willing to become a suicide bomber. Folks, I'm telling you, I'm not, this whole thing is satirical. Look at this. We have the lobster here. But I'm saying this, she has to be willing to walk into Georgia Power with a suicide vest on and blow it up. And if she's not, there's nothing to do. You have to be willing to engage in become a suicide bomber. Because she's right. She goes, we don't have the money to fight Georgia Power. You're absolutely right. But you have your jacket, and you could put a bomb in it, and you could walk into a building and blow it up. And that's going to, and I'm not calling for it. I don't want it to happen. This is a satirical program. But I will tell you this. That's kind of the move. I think for a lot of these people, unfortunately, that are encountering all this stuff, is they will have to start getting suicide vests. Because we always judged the suicide bombers when we grew up. We're like, those people are crazy. But now you're like, oh, maybe a lot of them just felt like they didn't have a choice. Truly. Now, I'm no fan of suicide bombing, and I would never, ever call for it or want to do it myself. But I am saying that if this family wants to fight back, it is maybe their only option is to start. Because think about American suicide bombers for a minute. Let's just let our mind go there. It is interesting, is it not? It is kind of interesting to think about like an American suicide bomber at like a mall Godiva, that chocolate store, just blowing it up and then it's just fudge, just chocolate everywhere. Kind of like a Willy Wonka. Just walk into a mall Godiva and just go. All right, let's finish this here.
Taking this entire backyard.
What do you say to someone who will push back on any sort of offer that's out there and say, well, the price tag can't replace memories?
Oh gosh, it almost makes me emotional because I have those memories in like my house, and I get how deeply personal people's homes are. I would just say that we see you and we hear you, and we want this process to be respectful and transparent.
You gotta blow it up.
And that is going to ultimately benefit
You gotta blow it up.
you.
Brown doesn't buy that, and while she knows it's too late to save her home, she says she doesn't want to see this happen to anyone else.
My mom wants an apology. She wants an apology from Georgia Power. That's it.
And it's because of how she feels as if she's been treated.
Yeah. I mean, for an entire year, they have bullied her. And there is no sorry. So that's what we want. We want an apology from Georgia Power.
Honey, put on the vest. Baby cakes. You're not getting an apology. Put on the vest. Walk in to Georgia Power with that woman who just did that interview. And that woman who just did that interview and say, I've been thinking about it. And I want to come in and I wanted an apology from you, but I actually want to give you an apology. I understand that you're in a tough position. And I understand that you're just doing your job. And I want to tell you from the bottom of my heart, I'm just doing mine. And then the woman's going to look at her and say, thank you for understanding. You know? And then you just look at her and you go, Inshallah.
Howdy, folks. Mangy Fedlocks here with a beautiful data center song. If you got a data center coming to town near you, or maybe your town, if you should be so lucky, you're going to need a nice song to welcome them, so I wrote one. The data centers would like you to stop drinking and taking showers and washing loads of clothes. The data centers need water for thinking, which only selfish, greedy people would oppose. Boy, you don't want to be one of them. I mean, think about everybody else. AI is bound to make us all much dumber. In time we will not have to think at all. We'll all become just slaves to AI masters that'll oversee humanity's swift fall. The data centers need your electric power. They think you should curtail your lights and heat. You don't need all that. The power's needed for AI computers that'll help diagnose the bunions on our feet. AI is bound to make the rich guys richer, while everybody else will pay the price. A future like that's not a pretty picture, but the rich did not get rich by being nice. The data centers need you to stop watering your flowers and your garden and your lawn. But since data centers are displacing nature, way less water will be needed once it's all gone. Yeah, really, who needs nature when you could have a data center? You could just go and look at that now and then. It's going to be way nicer. Thanks for listening. Y'all take care.